Hello MedChem students. So this video is to walk you through part 3 of your Unit 1 performance tasks on diagnosing osteoporosis. So once you've diagnosed your patients, you've chosen what materials you use, you need to figure out how are we going to attach those materials in order to fuse their bone fracture back together again. So things to help you out at your lab station, you should have a Ziploc bag with your period and your lab number, either in a post-it note or it'll be written in Sharpie like on the Ziploc bag somewhere. So this is your model bone that you need to fix, and inside this like layer of foam, which is supposed to be your muscle, is going to be some sort of fracture. All right. You also have a scalpel. Yours might be already taken out of the package, right, if you're in periods 2 through 6. And then you also have a beaker with tape and some stints just to sort of act as your material, right, and then scissors to sort of cut the material to size. So once you have everything, right, the first thing you're going to do is to figure out the fracture that you have. So instead of using this one for period 1, I'm just going to use this model one. All right. So there should be a side that's already loosely open if you're in period 1. You're just going to peel it back. And this is your scalpel. So pulling the top part over. So in these situations, you're always like using the knife and pointing it and pulling it away from you. It's kind of counterintuitive, just so that like you don't want to do this in case you slip, because then you're gonna cut yourself. So at least this way, you're cutting away from you. Right? So you're just gonna drag your scalpel lengthwise, going down the length of the bone, and that should allow you to peel back the layers. Right, so you might need some other tricks. Ideally, this would be slightly cleaner, where you wouldn't rip the person's muscle. So I did a very bad surgery job. Don't be like me. Right, so you can tell that this is an oblique fracture because it's slightly curved and it's completely separated. Right, so now your job is like looking at this, how do I fuse this back together? And those of you that have ever had a bone fracture or have screws in your body to help you fuse your bones might be able to figure this out, right? You could also look on the internet. You want to look at how fractures are mended together, right? Or you can just wing it, right? So to help you out, I've come up with some models. So you first want to come up with models on a scratch sheet of paper. So a suggestion would be maybe you just tape the sticks together vertically all the way around, or you put them in X hash marks. So my idea with the X hash marks is maybe that it's more stable to have things in an X shape, right? But it puts more mass or weight on the bone, which is not a good thing because it doesn't allow the bone to grow, right? To test if your thing works, we're going to place a textbook on top, right? So eventually, once you have your model, let's say you've created your sticks and implants and you've taped them on here how you think they should go, right? We're going to place this vertically. And if you imagine this sheet of paper is a textbook instead, weighing about 5 pounds, we're going to place that on top for 1 minute. So if I place this on top for 1 minute, your bone should not collapse, right? And if it does collapse, that means you probably want to go back to the drawing board and fix this, right? So you have 2 tries to do this. So the first one, this could be your first draft and your second draft. Each time I'll give you a textbook to test it out, right? And it should be able to hold your fake bone for 1 minute is how long we're going to test it for. Alright, the second requirement is that for all these stints that you're using, they have to weigh a total of less than 12 grams. Right? So the reason why it has to be less than 12 grams is if we use more than that, you're not going to have enough space for the bone to heal, right? And that's not good either. Right? So eventually we want to be able to either take these out or have them be at not very obtrusive at all. Right. So part 3 is just figuring out how do we stick this back together, right? And your 2 requirements are listed for you both right here and also on your performance task copy in part 3 as well. All right, and that's all.